Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2981. We're going to take a quick break from our deep dive into Rogue One because it's the 1st of September, and so let's talk about what we can expect in the world of Star Wars storytelling for this month. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. And thank you also to everybody who has continued to retweet and like the tweets I've been putting out, and also liked over on Instagram the posts I've been putting in hopes of enticing Mark Hamill to join me for a conversation here on the podcast, which I would hope to celebrate with you on the 3000th episode of this podcast. Question 6 is going to be posted later today on social, Instagram, and on Twitter. I hope you'll keep an eye out for that. And again, thank you so much for liking and retweeting, sharing with your friends, and helping to encourage Mark Hamill to make this happen. Okay, so let's do the rundown on Star Wars storytelling. And as you may recall, if you've listened to the podcast for at least a month, you'll know that there are 12 categories that we cover, which are movies, live action shows, animation, books, audiobooks, short stories, comics, merchandise, virtual reality, video games, streaming, and there's always one I forget. Live events and experiences, that's the one. And we'll start as we always do with movies, and this is the biggest mystery in terms of Star Wars storytelling because we are now multiple months beyond the date at which principal photography should have started if we were going to get a Star Wars movie at the end of 2023, which is what was on the Disney release calendar. And as of the date of this recording, which is the afternoon of August 31st, we still don't have any updates on Star Wars movie situations at all. It's just a huge mystery. We don't know if Taika Waititi's movie is going to be the one that goes forward first. We don't know if Patty Jenkins' movie is going to be the one that goes forward first. We don't know if Kevin Feige's movie is going anywhere at this point. We do know that Rian Johnson is still hopeful to do a Star Wars trilogy, the one that had been talked about many years ago. But he's got other irons in the fire right now, so it's either Taika or Patty, and at this point, Taika seemed to be the person in the running for a 2023 spot, but now it doesn't seem like either Taika or Patty are going to hit that date. So, it would be lovely to hear more information about that sooner rather than later, but it seems like they might not bother telling us about that because they've got other fish to fry, because the Andor series is actually coming out. Now, I know that when we did this August episode, we said, hey, Andor's coming out, but that was because it was supposed to come out on August 31st, and obviously they changed that. Now we're getting 3 episodes debuting on Wednesday, September 21st. They've given us the release calendar for the rest of the episodes. It's going to be weekly after that date, ending on the day before Thanksgiving here in the United States. And we might get to see little commercial snippets, little social media videos that give us little bits and pieces more about it before the premiere, so that'll be fun to watch out for. The next thing that's going to be up is season 3 of The Mandalorian. They would be in post-production for that right now, and personally I would be surprised if we see a trailer anytime during the run of the Andor series. I think that's something they would hold until December at the very earliest. Then after Mando season 3, the Ahsoka series is going to come out. So we don't have any idea about a release date other than it's going to be sometime in mid-2023 roughly. It is filming right now, and we don't know how many episodes there are going to be, but if there are only 6 episodes of the show, then it will probably finish filming this month. And I'm saying that because the Obi-Wan Kenobi series started filming in May of last year, and it was 6 episodes long, and it ended its filming in September of last year. So if it is 6 episodes, it's likely to finish filming this month. After that, we'd be expecting Skeleton Crew to show up sometime in 2023, toward the back end of it, and there are rumors that it has already started filming, whether in late June or early July. We don't know for sure. There have been sort of conflicting rumors and reports about that, but there's been no official announcement on it, so hard to say for sure, but quite possibly also filming right now. And we also have no idea how many episodes of that there are going to be. So if it is in fact filming right now, it will probably continue filming through September and probably well into October as well. Okay, moving on to animation. The big thing on the horizon is The Bad Batch, which currently has a release date of September 28th. I know there was some concern about the fact that it wasn't included on the September release calendar that Disney published during the earnings report that they had in August. But that document also said that the list was not exhaustive and subject to change. So I think, though, what might be a possibility, I'll just put this out there, that the episodes of The Bad Batch don't come out on Wednesdays. I mean, they've shown some flexibility with their schedule, Disney Plus has, and so it would be really interesting to see them release both an Andor episode and a Bad Batch episode on the same day. I feel like they might decide, let's do that on different days. And they're already testing out Thursday releases with the She-Hulk series that's coming on right now. Granted, that's live action and not animation, but just using it to raise the point that, yeah, maybe they would move away from the Wednesday date for the Bad Batch, considering that Andor is going to be releasing on those dates for a good chunk of time. Meanwhile, there are going to be 16 episodes for season 2 of the Bad Batch, and assuming that they release them on a weekly basis, that'll run us all the way into December. Tales of the Jedi is also due to come at some point in 2022, and we don't necessarily know when. I've seen fall 22, I've seen late 22. Technically speaking, they could get all the way into mid-December and still have it be fall 2022. So they could wait till the end of the Bad Batch to put that out, and they would still make those initial announcement dates. But it might be fun to be surprised with that on Disney Plus Day on September 8th, which would not be fall. But be that as it may, since I'm there, I may as well mention that there's going to be a special dropping on September 8th on Disney Plus Day called Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return, which is, for all intents and purposes, like a Disney Gallery episode. It's a behind-the-scenes situation, documentary thing. So that's very cool that we are going to get something like a Disney Gallery series. We've been talking about our hopes for that, just keeping our fingers crossed for an announcement like that, and it's happening. It is going to happen on September 8th. On the book front, there's nothing happening from a fiction perspective that's new. On the nonfiction front, it's going to be a great month for Riley Silverman and Insight Editions because there are 2 books coming from them. Exploring Tatooine is coming on September 6th. I believe it is. Is that right? Am I doing my math right? Yes. And then on September 13th, they're going to have a Life Day pop-up book and advent calendar. That looks really fun. They both look really fun, actually. And because there are no new fiction books on the horizon for September, there's also new audiobook situations happening in September. On the short story front, we are going to get our very first High Republic story for Phase 2, Quest of the Jedi, and that is a short story coming from George Mann. It's going to be published in Star Wars Insider Magazine number 213. On the virtual reality front, we keep doing this month after month, but it's kind of like no news is news, basically, and they've got to announce something at some point. I feel like this is like predicting earthquakes in California, where the odds of having one keep going higher and higher as we continue on not having earthquakes. I'm saying I grew up there. I spent a good couple of decades living there, so yeah, I'm very used to the whole earthquake situation there. On the merchandise front, I think we can reasonably expect there to be some sort of Andor merchandising push, similar to the Obi-Wan Kenobi merch push, similar to the Bring Home the Bounty push, similar to Mando Mondays with that merch, right? So yes, we're probably going to have some sort of merch campaign for the Andor series that will likely be announced this month. And we check on these just as a quick reminder because occasionally the descriptions of some of these products actually include interesting details about characters and situations and vehicles and whatnot, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. On the comic book front, 8 issues that are going to be brand new in September, including the 27th issues of the flagship Star Wars title, as well as the Bounty Hunters title and the Darth Vader title. Dr. Aphra will be dropping issue 24. And then Hyperspace Stories, the new all-ages comic from Dark Horse, that's issue number 2 that's coming out in September. And then on the limited series front, the final issue in the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series, issue 5, will be dropping. And then the Han Solo and Chewbacca series has its 6th issue coming out, and the Mandalorian adaptation series drops issue number 3. On the video game front, it looks like we may not see a wide release of Star Wars Hunters in 2022 after all. That had been pushed and pushed and pushed. And now, just to grab onto something, the novel Hunters Battle for the Arena, which was supposed to be a tie-in to Star Wars Hunters, has now been rescheduled for March 7th of 2023, which, funnily enough, is also the release date for a new novel called Jedi: Battle Scars by Sam Maggs, which is supposed to be a tie-in to the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, that video game, which is Jedi Survivor. And I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem to make sense to me that they would release a Hunters and a Jedi book on the same date, and for that matter, the video game in the same month. So one of those is probably going to move, and if I had to put money on one of them, it would be Hunters, but we'll see. And finally, on the live events and experiences front, I did see a thing that said that Galactic Star Cruiser is accepting new bookings, so they've gone through, I guess, their initial round of fully booked situations, so good for them, that's awesome. And then the D23 Expo is happening this month. It's happening from September 9th through the 11th. We've talked about that previously here on the show, that there's going to be a studio showcase panel on Saturday the 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and Lucasfilm will be a part of that situation, but it is not, as of this time, going to be one of the panels that's streamed, so you won't be able to see it unless you're actually there in person. But of course, we'll keep an eye on those announcements for you, and we'll talk about it here on the show. And then finally, Star Wars Celebration, which is scheduled for next April in London. At this moment, only Monday tickets for adults are available, and kid tickets for the various days are also available, but you have to have an adult ticket to be able to buy a kid's ticket, and nothing's been announced as far as programming for that goes, but one would imagine that the Ahsoka series will probably have a big moment there, since it will be happening not too long before the debut of the Ahsoka series. So I imagine that's probably first look trailer happening there. I'll put my marker down on that right now. And that is what I have for you as far as what we're looking ahead to in terms of Star Wars storytelling for the month of September 2022, and that is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.